O.J. Simpson still owes a lot of money to the families of Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown. After all, he was found liable in a then $33+ million judgment for killing them. And with interest, it's now ballooned to well over $100 million. And that's what makes comments by the executor of Simpson's estate and his longtime lawyer, Malcolm LaVergne, seemingly stunning. He told the Las Vegas Review-Journal, "It's my hope that the Goldmans get zero, nothing, them specifically. And I will do everything in my capacity as the executor or personal representative to try and ensure that they get nothing." But here's the thing, it actually isn't all that stunning that he made these comments. He's seemingly made it his mission to troll a victim's family. For many, he is a new face as the executor, but the reality is that for years he's been insulting the Goldman family with arguably anti-Semitic public comments. So we will ask, could this guy get removed? In 2017, he tweeted, "Money, money, money, money. I've heard the greedy Goldmans talk about money 1,000 times since they came on my radar screen in July, but only heard them mention that poor dead kid Ron a few times, go figure." Which is, of course, absurd considering how often the Goldman family has talked about Ron. Going on to say the Goldmans are professional public figure victims. I called him out at the time for his comments. On Twitter, LaVergne pushed back and attacked me. I'm not the story, though. LaVergne has even called Ron's father, Fred, a plantation master, which led to his sister, Kim, jumping in to accuse him of lying. "You're a special kind of something to be that insensitive. Stop including me in these disgusting tweets," she said. And, of course, LaVergne responded to Kim, referring to her as Wacky Kim. So it was hardly surprising when LaVergne said this on Cuomo Friday night.
You're talking about as celebrity judgments. Those are unsecured judgments, but the real issues will be Mr. Simpson did have IRS debts, there'll be funeral expenses, there'll be all those things, and they take superiority over any other type of debt like the celebrity debts that you talked about.
You, counsel, put the heavy celebrity debt on it as if it was not a righteous obligation of the estate you now represent.
I think there's a little too much emotion going on. Let's get on to the next questions.
No, I'm good with you, Malcolm.
Good for Geraldo. I'm not emotional, but it's just factual. Yesterday, he sort of tried to backtrack, saying, quote, "In hindsight, I think that what he said, quote, was pretty harsh," and went on to say we can get this thing resolved in a calm and dispassionate manner. My question is, should a guy like LaVergne be handling this at all? And could he be removed as the executor of the estate? Joining me now, Chris Melcher, California-based attorney who works with a lot of notable celebrities. Chris, thanks for coming on the program. Appreciate it. It's pretty tough to get rid of an executor. Could they try and do it?
Well, absolutely, Dan. I mean, when I read the comments by this attorney, it was clear that he has no clue what his obligations are as an executor or personal representative. By law, he is supposed to marshal the estate, meaning figure out if O.J. has any money, and creditors get paid first before heirs. That's his job, is to dispassionately make sure that the creditors are paid what's due to them and the heirs get whatever is left over. And for him to come out and say that his mission in life was now to make sure that these creditors, under a valid judgment resulting from a jury trial against O.J., will not get a dime, showed to me that he has no obligations, no understanding, what his obligations are, and he absolutely should be removed, even though he has now realized the foolishness of those comments.
But it's a legal matter tough, right, to get an executor removed, the theory being that the person who has died picks an executor, the person is allowed to choose who they want. How would they go about doing it?
So they would go to the Nevada probate court, which, because O.J. died in Nevada, so that'll be the court that'll administrate his estate. And we need somebody in there who's neutral and who's honest and is going to do their job. And this gentleman is certainly not any of those things, according to his own statements, that he is not going to follow the law. And so it should be fairly easy, I think, in this particular instance to have him removed. Even though he was chosen by O.J., he is clearly not going to ensure that the Goldmans, who are legitimate creditors, get any money. So we need somebody in there who's going to be fair, honest, and neutral, and this gentleman is not able to do so.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.